Hi guys, this video is for my friend Vivi. Together we practice Vinyasa Power Yoga during Mind Valley U in Pula this summer. And because we can't be together, she's in Berlin and I'm traveling back and forth. That's why I said, okay, I'm just gonna record a full-length class for her. And here we go.
Let's find a comfortable position on top of the mat, cross-legged seated position, hands on top of the knees, long spine, deeply breathing in and out of the nose. Shoulders are relaxed and head is just balancing on top of your shoulders. Let's take a deep inhalation, raising the arms up towards the ceiling, and on the exhalation bringing the palms of the hands together in front of your heart center, prayer position. If you want, you can keep the eyes closed. Deep inhalation, lifting the right arm up over the head and then bending over towards your left side. Left forearm is pressing into the mat. Really breathing into the right side of your rib cage. On the next exhalation, folding diagonally forward over your left knee. Breathing in and out of the nose. Making sure both shoulders are in one line. And then slowly walking both hands to the center, stretching the upper body forward over and feeling the opening in the back of your pelvis and your lower spine. Neck is fully relaxed. Keep walking your hands towards the right side, reaching diagonally forwards over your right knee. Actively pushing the left shoulder down. Taking a deep inhalation, circling your left arm over your head. Again, making sure both shoulders are in one line and the left hand is reaching towards the right side of the room. Inhaling back to center, planting both hands behind your sit bones and then pushing the hips up towards the ceiling, opening up the shoulders. You can just release the head to the back, facing the back wall. Releasing the sit bones back into the mat and just exchanging sides. Inhaling, lifting the left arm up over the head, and on your exhalation, reaching towards the right side of the room. And then folding diagonally forward, again remembering the head is fully relaxed and the shoulders are in one line. Make sure both sit bones stay planted into the mat. Walking both hands into the center. Really feeling how you're spreading out the sit bones on top of the mat. Every time you exhale, you're leaving that deep imprint on top of the mat. And then inhaling. This time we're gonna bring the upper body over the left knee. Breathing deeply into your lower stomach. On the next inhalation, circling the right arm over your head. If you want, you can keep the eyes closed, actively pushing into your left forearm. The neck is not tense, just relaxed. You can gaze into your upper hand. Bringing the right arm back down again, planting the hands behind your sit bones, pushing the hips up. Opening the hips, opening the lower spine and the shoulders. Exhaling, releasing both sit bones back on top of the mat, and we roll over our shin bones, finding our tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And going over into cat-cow. Every time you inhale, facing up to the ceiling. Every time you exhale, you're rounding the spine. Inhaling, gazing up. Exhaling is rounding the spine, pushing into your hands. Inhaling, diving, looking up. Exhaling, pushing, rounding the spine. And just going in your own tempo, following your own breath. And then we're going to go over into free cat-cow, just using some hip rotation, using some shoulder rotation, as if you want to draw some circles with your tailbone or with the crown of your head. Massaging your entire body and opening all the tissues around your tensed muscles or wherever you feel you need a bit more opening. And then finding stillness back in tabletop position. Inhaling, tucking the toes under and lifting the knees 2 inches away from the mat. Stay there and just feel how the core is active. And then release the left foot from the mat, balancing on 3 points. Your upper body is not shifting, just staying there in the center. Changing sides and releasing the right leg. Actively pushing into your hands. Releasing the right leg back into the mat, releasing the toes back into the mat. And we're going to go into 2-legged tabletop position. The right arm is reaching to the front, the left leg is reaching to the back. Try to keep one line from your fingertips into your heel. Core is active, sending the navel towards the backside of your spine. On the next exhalation, rounding your spine, bringing knee and elbow together, and then opening on the inhalation. Gonna make it dynamic. Keep going. Exhaling is always knee and elbow together, and inhaling is stretching out. Exhaling together. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling together. Inhaling, opening. Make sure you don't lose balance, really pressing into your left hand. Inhaling, arching the spine a bit more, reaching the arm up to the ceiling, leg towards the ceiling. From there, we're going to circle the right arm backwards, and we're going to grab the top part of our foot, coming into tiger pose to open our shoulder and to open our hips. Try to keep your hips parallel to the mat. So it's really just the shoulder that is fully open and the knee stays parallel to the mat. Releasing back into the mat. And we take 2 cat-cow just to release the spine before we're going to go over into the other side. This time pushing into the right hand, releasing the left arm out and kicking the right heel backwards. Everything in one line. See how the shoulder is above the right hand. Hips are in one line. Keep breathing. On the next exhalation, we're going to make it dynamic again. So inhaling is always opening and exhaling is rounding, bringing elbow and knee together. You can go in your own timing, making sure that you stay in control of your body and that you're not falling. So better take a bit more time instead of rushing, but don't change the position of your upper body. Really using your abs, crunching your body whenever you exhale and lengthening the body whenever you inhale. On the next inhalation, we point the toes and we reach the hand higher up towards the ceiling, really arching the spine. And then circling the left arm backwards, kicking the sole of your foot into your left hand and gazing over your left shoulder for tiger pose. Keep breathing. Always in and out through the nose. Releasing the right leg back into the mat, tucking the toes under, and then exhaling, finding our first downward facing dog of today. Try to keep a nice triangle position so the tailbone is facing up to the ceiling, hands and feet are pushing into the mat. If you want, you can start pedaling the legs to release a bit of tension from the back side of your legs. Slowly start walking the soles of the feet towards your fingertips, folding forward, finding your forward fold, and if you want, you can grab the opposite elbow, just swinging a bit from right to left. Really releasing the head, releasing the tension in the lower spine, releasing back into your forward fold, and then bending the knees, slowly starting rolling up, vertebra by vertebra. Really taking the time. Just trying to play, but shifting your weight from side to side, front to back. And then we're just going to check in on our balance. So just shift your weight on top of your left foot and release the right foot 2 inches away from the mat. See if you can keep your eyes closed. And then exhaling, exchanging sides, bringing the weight on top of your right foot and lifting the left foot 2 inches away from the mat. Bringing both soles of the feet really strongly planted back into the mat, and then we're going to go over into our sun salutation. Inhalation, bringing the arms over your head, reaching up to the ceiling, slightly bending backwards. On the exhalation, folding forward, forward fold Uttanasana. Inhalation, half lift up, and exhalation, stepping backwards into your plank, finding half or full chaturanga. Inhaling as baby cobra, just lifting your shoulders away from the mat, and if you want, you can lift the hands away from the mat. Keep breathing, and then exhaling, hands back into the mat, push your weight backwards, finding downward facing dog. Long line in your lower spine, hands and fingers are spread out on top of your mat. Inhaling, bending the knees, and on the exhalation, stepping forward. Forward fold. Inhaling, arms up over your head. Exhaling, hands back to heart center. Second round. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, stepping backwards. Chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Staying here, lengthening the spine. Inhaling, bending the knees. Exhaling, stepping forward, forward fold. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, hands back to heart center, third round. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, stepping backwards, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Keep breathing here, sending the tailbone up towards the ceiling and heels pushing down into the mat. Inhaling, look between the hands. Exhaling, stepping forward, fold forward. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, hands back to heart center. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, stepping backwards, chaturanga, elbows in. Inhaling, lifting up the upper body. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Really exhalation, stepping forward, folding forward. Inhaling, arms lifting up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up over the head. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, tabletop. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. I'm going to bring a bit speed in this. Just warming up the body, creating heat. Inhaling is bending the knees. Exhaling, stepping forward, folding forward. Inhaling, arms over the head, reach up. Exhaling, hands back to heart center. We're going to go over into Hatha sun salutation. Inhaling, arms up, opening the shoulders. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, half lift up. Exhaling, stepping the right leg backwards. Inhaling, sending the arms up, low lunge. On the exhalation, lowering the hips a bit further down. Circling the arms back into the mat and either doing a 3-legged chaturanga or just normal chaturanga. Find your downward facing dog. Keep breathing here. Inhaling, lifting the right leg up. Exhaling, stepping the right leg in between the hands. Inhaling, circling the arms up over the head, sending the hips down. On your next exhalation, circling the hands back into the mat. Forward fold. Inhaling, arms reaching up, open the chest. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Second round. Lift. Folding forward. Tabletop. Exhaling, stepping the left leg backwards. Inhaling, arms over the head. Exhaling, hips down. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, hands into the mat. And chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. On the next inhalation, lifting the left leg up. Exhalation, stepping in between the hands, low lunge position. Inhaling is reaching over the head, sending the hips down. Circle the hands back into the mat, stepping everything together. Inhaling, reaching the arms over the head, lengthening. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Third round. Folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhaling, tabletop. Exhaling, stepping the right leg backwards. Arms over the head, low lunge, hips low. Circling the hands back into the mat, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Long spine. Inhaling, right leg up, in between the hands. Circling the hands over the head, reaching up, long line. Keep sending the hips down, circling the hands back, and forward fold. Inhaling, arms reaching up, open the shoulders. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms over the head. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, left leg backwards. Inhaling, arms over the head. And you can slightly back bend, opening up the chest. And then on the next exhalation, we're circling the arms back down into the mat and finding chaturanga. Keep the navel, sending the navel close to your spine. Left leg up, left leg in between the hands, and then circling the arms over the head, sending the hips down and opening the chest with a slight back bend. Keep breathing into the chest, circling the hands into the mat, forward fold position. Inhaling, arms over the head, and exhaling, finishing our Hatha sun salutation. We're going to bring both soles of the feet together. Inhaling, arms over the head, index finger is pointing out, and we're bending over to the left side for our standing half moon. Keep breathing into the chest, really anchoring your feet into the mat underneath you. Breathing in and out through the nose. Inhaling back into center and exhaling, bending over towards the right side. Shoulders and hips are in one line on top of each other. So make sure your shoulders are not rotating forward or backwards. Everything is facing to the front of your mat. Inhaling back into center, and on the exhalation, slightly bending backwards. Again, make sure you're not pushing the hips forward. You want to keep the hips on top of the soles of the feet. It's just the upper body that is opening. Keep keep breathing. Inhaling back to center, exhaling, folding forward. Opening the legs, hip distance apart, and we take our peace fingers, wrapping our second and third finger around our big toe. Inhaling, lengthening the lower spine, and on the exhalation, folding even more forward. Try to keep a long lower spine. Inhaling, releasing the hands under the soles of your feet and bring the hands in one line with your upper body in a tabletop position. We're going to strengthen our glutes and our hamstrings. If there's too much tension, you can micro bend your knees. Everything is in one line. Exhaling, opening the arms to the side in an airplane. And inhaling, bringing the hands back over your head, staying in your tabletop, making it dynamic. Exhaling is opening. Inhaling is over your head. Exhaling is opening. Inhaling is over the head. Exhaling, opening. Inhaling is over the head. Exhaling, opening. Inhaling is over the head. Coming back up fully into standing, closing the soles of the feet. Inhaling, arms over the head, and we're also going to make our standing half moon dynamic. Exhaling is bending over to the left. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, right. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, left. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, right. Strengthening the diagonal abdominal muscles. Keep going in your own timing. Just keep breathing, and every time you exhale, you bend over. We are meeting back in center, and then one more time, find a small back bend and gazing towards the back side of the room. And then inhaling, bringing everything back together in the center, and we're going to go over into sun salutation B. Inhalation is circling the arms over the head, bending the knees. Weight is on the heels, so you are able to lift the toes from the mat. Exhalation, folding forward, forward fold. Inhalation, half lift. Exhalation, step or jump backwards, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg up, stepping in between the hands, circling the arms over the head, warrior one. Hips are parallel to the front side of your mat. Shoulders down. On the next exhalation, circling the hands back into the mat, chaturanga. Inhalation, upward facing dog. Exhalation, downward facing dog. Other side, inhaling, right leg up, stepping in between the hands, arms over the head, taking one deep breath, and then on your next exhalation, circling the hands back into the mat, finding chaturanga, upward facing dog, and on the exhalation, downward facing dog, your full vinyasa. Inhaling, bending the knees, looking in between the hands, and exhaling, step or jump forward. Inhaling, circling the arms up, Utkatasana. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Second round. Inhaling, chair pose. Keep your chair pose. We're going to strengthen our upper thighs. Bringing hands to heart center, and we find our twisted chair pose. Left elbow to the outside of the right upper thigh, gazing over the right shoulder, opening the right arm up, looking into your right hand. Exhaling, hands back into center, changing sides, deep inhalation, both arms over the head, and then starting to twist, bringing the right elbow to the outside of the left upper thigh, gazing over the left shoulder. Inhaling, opening the left arm up, keep reaching, left arm is reaching up to the ceiling, right arm is reaching down. Hands back into heart center, inhaling, arms over the head, stay in your chair pose, exhaling, forward fold, inhaling, half lift, exhaling, full vinyasa, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Inhaling, lifting the left leg up, stepping in between your hands, circling the arms up, warrior one. Sending the hips down, inhaling, interlacing the hands above your head and finding a small back bend, opening up the chest, gazing up to the ceiling, hips staying parallel to the front. Back into center, interlacing the hands behind your back, we're finding a high crescended lunge, and then we're going to bend forward over, bringing the arms as far over the head as possible, opening up the shoulders. Gazing to your left foot, making sure your left knee stays over your left foot. Releasing the right hand next to your left foot, circling the left arm up, finding our twisted high lunge position. Circling the left arm a bit higher up, and then we're finding our crescended twisted lunge position. Bringing the left arm into your calf muscle and reaching the right arm over your head. Kind of a variation of twisted reversed warrior. Bringing everything back into center, keeping the hands interlaced behind your back and folding one more time forward over your left knee. Inhaling, arms over your head. Exhaling, warrior two, gazing over your left hand. Strengthening the position. Grounding yourself. Flipping the palm of your left hand on the exhalation, finding reversed warrior, reaching the left hand over your head. Exhaling, circling everything down, finding vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg up, stepping in between the hands. Bringing both arms up, warrior one. Interlacing the hands above your head, index finger facing up, and then lengthening the spine before we're bending backwards. Keep the core active. Shoulders opening up. Inhaling everything back into center, releasing the hands and interlacing the hands behind your back, folding forward, high lunge position. Right shoulder comes to your right knee. On the next exhalation, releasing the left hand next to your right foot, right arm is reaching above your head towards the ceiling. Keep reaching, keep lengthening. Inhaling, finding a high crescended lunge position with a nice twist, looking over your right hand. Bringing the right hand into your left calf muscle and reaching the left arm above your head. Keep the balance here. Don't move. Really grounding yourself, sending the energy in between your right and your left leg. Coming back into center, interlacing the hands behind your back, and one more time folding forward in your high lunge position. From here, inhaling high lunge, exhaling warrior two, looking over your right hand. Flipping the palm of your right hand, exhaling, reaching over your head to the back side of the room for reverse warrior. Stay here, keep breathing and keep sending the hips down. Exhaling, circling everything down, finding vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. You can pedal the legs a bit from right to left, releasing the tension out of the body. Pushing into the hands, inhaling, bending the knees, exhaling, step or jump forward, folding forward. Inhaling, Utkatasana chair pose, exhaling, coming back into standing. Inhaling, chair pose, exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, tabletop, Exhaling, step or jump backwards, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg reaches up. Exhaling, finding warrior one. Interlacing the hands and back bend to open up the shoulders. And then we find our high crescendo lunge and we make it dynamic. Every time we exhale, we're going to bring the right knee closer to the mat. Every time we inhale, we bring the arms up over the head. Exhaling, knee down. Inhaling, extending the knee, arms up. Really feeling the stretch in the front side of your hip flexors. Next time you exhale, releasing the right hand next to your left foot, circling the left arm backwards and bending your right knee. Kind of a preparation for your mermaid, stretching your quads, looking over your left shoulder. And releasing the pose, circling the left arm up to the ceiling, twisted lunge position. Stretching the right knee away from the mat, bringing the hands to heart center, staying in your twisted lunge position. Bringing everything back into the center, opening up to warrior two. From here, flipping the palm of the left hand and on the exhalation, reaching over your head for reversed warrior. Exhaling, bringing it in its extended side angle, reaching over your head to the front side of the room. Finding the extension between your fingertips and the sole of your foot. Everything back to warrior two, and on the exhalation, circling everything down, finding vinyasa. Upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg up. Exhaling, stepping in between the hands, circling the arms up. Then again, finding our back bend whenever you feel grounded. Everything back into center, preparing for dynamic lunges. Exhaling, knee into the mat, inhaling, stretching. Exhaling, pushing the air down. Imagining that the air has resistance and you really have to press your arms and your leg down and up. Next time that your knee is reaching the mat, circling your right arm backwards, left arm's in the mat, and we are stretching out our quads. If you want, you can open your hips a bit more by rolling over the outside of your right foot. Sending the hips down with every exhalation you take. Releasing everything back into the mat and finding your twisted lunge position. Left knee goes off the mat, and then we're finding our way into twisted lunge position where we have the hands in the heart center. So your left elbow is touching the outside of your right upper thigh. Looking over your right shoulder. Coming back into high crescendo lunge, and on the exhalation, opening into warrior two, gazing over your right hand. Flipping the palm of your right hand, and then coming into reversed warrior. Long line from your fingertips into your hips, into your knee, and then down into the mat. Back into extended side angle where we're going to reach the left arm towards the front side of the room. Back into warrior two. Then circling the arms down, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Stretching out here. Deep breathing. Pedaling the legs just to release a bit of tension. Then finding your downward facing dog, bending the knees, looking in between the hands, and on the exhalation step or jump forward. Folding forward, bending the knees, arms over the head, chair pose, and on the exhalation everything back together. Inhaling, arms up, bending the knees, chair pose. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, step or jump backwards, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Now we're going to do a couple of vinyasas just to strengthen ourselves. So just bringing yourself into plank position, exhaling, bending the elbows, chaturanga, inhaling, upward facing dog, and exhaling, rippling the spine into downward facing dog. Repeating in your own timing a couple of times. Inhaling is always plank, exhaling is chaturanga, inhaling is upward facing dog, and exhaling is downward facing dog. Really feeling the rippling of your spine, feeling how you have the control of your body and creating that body awareness. And then finding back your downward facing dog. And coming on your forearms, so stay in the same position as downward facing dog, just coming on your forearms for dolphin pose. Gazing to the front side of the room, lengthening the lower spine, opening the shoulders. One more breath here. And then step your legs backwards and finding dolphin plank, arms staying in the same position. Gonna strengthen our core. Make sure you spread out your shoulder blades. Shoulders are over your elbows. Forearms are parallel next to each other. Keep breathing here and sending the navel towards the backside of your spine. And then lifting yourself into a high plank, releasing the left leg away from the mat, but the core stays in the same position. If you want, you can try to release the right arm as well, finding a superhero pose. As if you want to fly. Bringing everything back into the mat, exchanging sides, releasing the right leg away from the mat, and sending the left arm forward, balancing here. Bringing everything back into the center and bringing the left hand underneath your heart center in the middle so you can open up towards side plank. Right arm is reaching up towards the ceiling. Strengthening the side of your upper body. Bringing the left knee and your left hand together. Pushing into your right hand, balancing here. Releasing your legs back on top of each other, staying for one more moment in side plank just to balance here, not falling out of the pose. And then slowly releasing everything back into high plank, into the center to change sides. Right hand under your heart center, left arm coming over your head. Left and right arm are in one line on top of each other. And then bringing the left knee and the left hand together, balancing here. Strong core. Bringing everything back into the center and just resting in your child's pose. Taking a couple of deep breathings, releasing the tension from your wrists, releasing tension from your lower spine. Slowly start to roll up your upper body vertebra by vertebra, and then coming one level higher up, bringing your hands on the backside of your pelvis, and we find preparation for camel pose. Just back bending, pushing the hips to the front side of the space, rotating the shoulders backwards, and then slowly bringing everything back into center. And we're gonna stretch out the front side of our feet. So shift your weight backwards, arms are reaching to the front, knees are away from the mat, core is active as somebody is punching into your stomach. And then slowly releasing everything, and we're finding full camel pose. Hands first on top of the pelvis, pushing the hips to the front, releasing the hands slowly one by one into your heels, and finding that arch in your back, gazing to the back side of the room. Head is relaxed, breathing into your chest and feeling how your ribcage is moving up and down. Slowly returning back, finding one more time tabletop position, and from tabletop into downward facing dog, lengthening the spine. Inhaling, left leg comes up. Exhaling, left leg steps in between your hands, circling the arms up, warrior 1. Exhaling, finding warrior 2. Grounding here. And we go over in dancing warrior, reversed warrior, and then exhaling, extended side angle. Inhaling, warrior 2. Exhaling, reversed warrior. Inhaling, warrior 2. Exhaling, extended side angle. Keep going. Exhaling is always bending. Inhaling is always warrior 2. Controlled movement. Keep the ground with the soles of your feet. Stretching out your front leg, and we're finding wide-legged forward fold, bending 4 over. Long lower spine. You can bring the hands to the backside of your ankle, pulling yourself down, really lengthening the spine, sending the sit bones up towards the ceiling. If you want, you can integrate one more time, half lift up, just to lengthen your lower spine, and then on the exhalation, pulling yourself a bit deeper down, trying to bring the crown of the head down into the floor. And then if you want, you can prepare yourself for tripod headstand, hands in one line with the heels, pushing the hands into the mat and then bringing the legs up. Making sure everything is in one line. Make sure there's not too much weight on top of your head, and you really use your upper arms to press down into the mat. And then bending the knees into the chest, we're going to go over into crow pose if you can. Knees coming into your upper arms, pushing yourself up, finding a nice unbalance, balancing here. Whole body is active, navel is going towards the backside of your spine. Sending the legs back up into tripod headstand, and then controlled way down, either normal way down or through L headstand, finding your wide-legged forward fold. Inhaling, bringing everything up, back into standing. Bring your arms in one line with your shoulder girdle, extra rotating your front foot, and we're going to go into Trikonasana triangle pose. Left arm is reaching up to the ceiling, right arm is reaching down to the floor. If you can grab your big toe with your peace fingers. Really keep lengthening through the fingertips of your right hand and through the fingertips of the left hand. From here, circling both hands down into the mat, going through a chaturanga, either three-legged or normal chaturanga, upward facing dog into downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg up, preparing for other side, circling the arms up for warrior 1. Exhaling, warrior 2. Shooting arrows out of your right and your left hand. And then dancing warrior, exhaling reversed warrior. And exhaling extended side angle, always going with the inhalation through warrior 2. Exhaling reversed, inhaling middle, exhaling front. really dancing through the space. Finding the center, extending the right leg, preparing yourself for wide-legged forward fold, bending full over, keeping the weight in the center on top of the soles of your feet. And then you can wave. Either staying there or again finding your tripod headstand. See how the arms are parallel next to each other, shoulder distance apart. Legs are also hip distance apart, or soles of the feet can be together. Then bringing the knees into the chest and giving it one more time a try to find your crow pose. Knees into your upper arms, pushing into the hands, lifting yourself off the mat and balancing there. Finding a controlled way back into the mat, going up into your headstand, opening the legs, wide-legged forward fold, grabbing your ankles from the back, and then slowly finding your way up into standing. Heel toe the sole of your foot, of your right foot in, preparing yourself for Trikonasana triangle pose. See how I first send the hips backwards before I spike down. And then on the next exhalation, circling the arms back down into the mat, finding your vinyasa, and then we're all gonna meet back into downward facing dog. Really stretching out the spine. Inhaling, bending the knees. Exhaling, step or jump forward. Inhaling, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhaling, Samastiti prayer position. We open up the legs and finding our goddess pose. So feet are extra rotated. I'm gonna bend the knees almost as a half squat position. My shoulders are on top of the hips. And then if you want, you can lift the heels away from the mat. Your hands are flexed so you feel a bit more stretch in your shoulder girdle. Shoulders are far away from the ears and we're just balancing here. Keeping the pose. Sending the heels back into the mat, stretching everything out, hands into heart center, and we make it dynamic. Every time we exhale, we're going to bend the knees, and every time we inhale, we stretch the knees. Keeping the whole upper body in one line, core is active, glutes are active, strengthening the upper thighs. Next time that we're going to bend the knees, we stay here, and one more time lifting the heels away from the mat. Finding a strong focus point in front of you. Releasing the heels back into the mat, stretching the legs, bringing the legs a bit closer, and then we're going to fold forward one more time, forward fold position, releasing the tension from the lower spine and sending the crown of the head deep down into the mat. And then we slightly extra-rotate the soles of the feet so we can lower down our glutes, finding our yogi squat position. Hands are in the heart center, thumbs are touching our heart chakra. Feeling how you're opening up the hips and how you're opening up the lower spine. And then bringing the left hand to the outside of the right ankle, lifting the right arm up, reaching it first to the ceiling, and then if you want, you can bind around your left shin bone. Releasing everything back into the center and exchanging side. Right hand on top of the left ankle. Inhaling, left arm goes up, and then bringing both hands together behind your right leg. Looking over your left shoulder. Everything back into center, stretching the legs, finding one more time forward fold, grabbing the opposite elbow and just dangling a bit from right to left, finding a bit more relaxation, calming the breath. From here, stepping everything back into our last downward facing dog for today, choosing a wide-legged downward facing dog so you can open your legs mat distance apart from each other and just pedaling the feet, moving the hips a bit from right to left, just finding relaxation there, doing everything that your body is requiring right now. And then bringing the knees into the mat and releasing everything in child's pose. Taking the time to feel the floor underneath you, getting a bit more grounded, calming the mind, and just focusing on your breath. And then slowly rolling the spine up. Shifting the hips towards the right side, just swinging the legs towards the front and preparing yourself for seated forward folds. Arms over the head, and on the exhalation bending over Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Either you grab your wrists or you just grab the soles of your feet or ankles or calf muscles. Really feel how you're lengthening from the lowest part of your spine. It's not about the head, not about the shoulders, just the lower spine. If you want, you can add one more lengthening, just looking to the front, lengthening from the lower spine, and then on the exhalation releasing back into full forward fold. Really deepening the pose, taking 2 more breaths, and then slowly rolling up the spine, bringing the hands next to the hips, and then we're just lifting the sit bones 2 inches away from the mat, feeling how the core has to be active. Shoulders stay away from the ears, really pressing into your hands. Knees are straight. Releasing down, and then bending the right knee, lifting the left arm up towards the ceiling, and then bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right leg. Nice twisted seated pose, activating the detoxifying process in our stomach. And then slowly returning back into the center, and we're going to go one more time into our forward fold position. Exhaling, folding 4 over, just releasing the spine. Slowly rolling back up, lifting one more time the sit bones away from the mat. Active core. Pushing into the hands, navel to the backside of the spine, and releasing down, changing the side for our seated twist, bringing the right arm over the head and then the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Left hand is behind your sit bones and you're gazing over your left shoulder. On the next exhalation, returning back into the center, and one more time into your forward fold Paschimottanasana. Slowly rolling up. Last time that we lift the sit bones away from the mat. Active core. Again, imagine somebody's punching into your stomach. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, bringing the hands behind the pelvis, opening the shoulders, and then lifting the hips away from the mat, finding our reversed plank position. Sending the hips up to the ceiling. Core stays active. Bending the knees, shifting the hips forwards, changing the positions of your hands, and then we're just going to walk the hands a bit more backwards, opening our shoulder girdle. Lifting the legs up. And from here finding our way into boat pose, Savasana. Arms reaching towards the soles of the feet. You might be shaking, it's okay. Stay there, reaching to the front, long spine. Slowly lowering down into low boat pose. Shoulders stay away from the mat, soles of the feet are not touching the mat. One more time, finding the way up, back into Navasana boat pose. And then slowly releasing down into the mat. 3, 2, 1. Release. Dropping everything down into the mat. Just bending the knees, bringing the soles of the feet together, and then opening the knees to the side. Grabbing the opposite elbow, reclined butterfly. Resting here for a moment, just enjoying how you're lengthening the spine, feeling the opening and the closing of the rib cage, feeling the opening of the hips, and sinking down into the mat. And then bringing the knees together into the chest, hugging yourself, drawing some circles just to massage your lower spine. Doing everything you need to do. Then bringing the hands into the mat, preparing yourself for plow pose. Bringing the legs to the back side of the room, knees are straight, tailbone is reaching up to the ceiling. If you want, you can also bend the knees just for a bit more relaxation. Either you keep your hands on top of the mat or you interlace the hands. Bringing the hands to the pelvis and find your way into shoulder stand. Try to keep everything in one line, reaching the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Using your hands as a support. Balancing here. And then pressing the palms of the hands into the mat and finding a slow, controlled way back into your mat, vertebra by vertebra, rolling everything down. Keep the knees bended and prepare yourself for half pigeon. Left leg is on top of the right upper thigh, and then we're bringing the knee closer into the chest, interlacing the hands around the chin bone, stretching out the side of your left glute. And we work quite a lot the upper thighs, so this is going to be a nice last stretch. Then releasing the legs back into the mat and find your spinal twist. So keeping the position of the legs and just dropping the knees towards the right side in space, gazing over your left shoulder. Trying to keep both shoulders planted into the mat. Feeling the twist as if you're a sponge that you want to twist and pour all the water out. coming back into the center, squaring yourself up and exchanging sides for your half pigeon. Right leg on top of left upper thigh, interlacing your hands around your left shin bone and bringing the knee into the chest. Stretching out the outside of your right glute. From there, just opening your arms in one line with your shoulder girdle and dropping the knees to the left side, gazing towards the right side, feeling the twist. Always finishing a class with a spinal twist, just to activate the detoxification process in your body. Slowly returning back into center, shaking everything out one last time before we finding our last pose, Savasana. And taking the time to rest here, closing the eyes, and scanning your body, allowing the soles of the feet to drop to the outside of the mat. Feeling how you get a bit lighter with every inhalation you take, and then melting deeper down into the mat with every exhalation you take. Letting go of all distracting thoughts, allowing yourself to just be here and now. And you can stay here as long as you feel like. Whenever you feel ready in your own timing, you gently start waking up the body and finishing off the yoga class in your own way. I'm gonna leave you at that point, and I want to say special thanks to my friend Vivi, who motivated me to make this video, and I send you a lot of love and magic.